My beloved child, I have watched you carry pain that you never asked for, never anticipated, and never fully understood. There have been moments when you questioned, why this burden? Why now? Why me? I heard those cries. Not a single tear you shed was unnoticed by me. Each ache, each sorrow, each wound etched deep into your soul. I saw it all. And though it may not feel like it, I need you to know this truth. The pain you carry is not meaningless. It is not punishment. It is not neglect. It is an invitation. Yes, you heard me rightly. An invitation. A sacred beckoning into deeper communion with me. When you were young, the world seemed easier to navigate. You could rise quickly after each fall. You had strength to chase after dreams, to brush off the sting of disappointment. But now, in the quiet hours of aging, pain feels different, doesn't it? It settles into your bones, not just your body, but your memory, your regrets, your loneliness. It lingers in the night and questions your worth in the day. But even here, even now, this pain you feel is not a sign of my absence. It is a sign that I am drawing you closer. Do not mistake silence for distance. There are times I speak not in thunder, but in whisper, not in miracles, but in mystery. Your suffering, as painful and unjust as it may seem, is not the end of your story. It is the doorway to the next chapter I have written for your soul. I have allowed this pain, not to crush you, but to call you. Let me ask you, as gently as a father would ask a weary daughter or son, will you trust me with this sorrow? Will you hand me the pieces of your heart you've tried so long to keep stitched together on your own? I know how hard it has been. You have carried burdens that others never saw. You have smiled when your heart was breaking. You have prayed even when your faith felt fragile. But I want more for you than survival. I want transformation. I want communion. I want you to rest in my presence, not just occasionally, but deeply and daily. Your pain is a meeting place. It is here that I sit with you, not as a distant deity, but as your creator, your comforter, your redeemer. The sorrow you feel is not foreign to me. Do you remember that I too suffered? That my son wept? That my heart breaks with every injustice, every sickness, every ache that touches your life? I am not numb to your grief. I am immersed in it with you. And yet I ask you to come to me not just to escape your pain, but to discover me within it. You may have believed that you had to be strong, that you had to hide your fears or doubts from me. But I say to you now, let them spill out. Let your questions flow freely. Just as a child runs to a parent with scraped knees and trembling hands, run to me. Come broken, come weary, come confused. There is no shame in your questions. There is no condemnation in your weakness. There is only my embrace. This invitation I extend to you through pain. It is a divine pursuit. I am calling you into a level of closeness that comfort never required. I am drawing you into a faith that rests not on circumstances, but on my character. You do not need to see the entire path to trust the one who walks beside you. I never promised a life free of pain, but I promised my presence in the middle of it. And I never break my promises. When you feel like you're unraveling, remember this: you are not falling apart. You are being rewoven. Thread by luminous thread, I am stitching your life into a masterpiece you cannot yet see. The ache you carry today will one day become the story of how you met me in the deepest way. Others may never fully understand the pain you have endured, but I do. And I will use it, not just for your healing, but as a testimony to my glory. Some seasons feel like silence. Some moments feel like abandonment. But I am in them all. Even when you don't feel me, I am there. I am closer than your breath, nearer than your thoughts. I hold you when you do not know how to hold yourself. And I whisper truth into your soul when lies try to take root. You may ask, what is the purpose of this suffering? And though I may not answer every why, I will show you the who, me. I am your purpose. I am your peace. And I am here. So take heart, my beloved. You do not walk this road alone. The invitation hidden in your pain is not to despair, but to discover. Discover my nearness. Discover my tenderness. Discover that even in the breaking, you are beloved. You are seen. You are cherished. Come to me. Not when the pain is over, but now, in the middle of it. Lay down your defenses. Let me hold your heart. Let me comfort your soul. I am not a God who is far off. I am the God who enters in. I weep with those who weep, and I promise joy that the world cannot steal. This is your sacred invitation. One the world may never understand, but one your spirit knows to be true. Will you accept it? Let your pain no longer be a barrier, but a bridge. Let it no longer be a weight, but a window. I am waiting, always ready, always loving. My precious one, you've spent a lifetime learning how to be strong. Through hardships and heartaches, you've carried others when they couldn't carry themselves. You've endured seasons of lack, loneliness, and loss, and still stood upright when others crumbled. You've said the right things, smiled when it hurt, and kept going when you weren't sure how. And now, as time weighs more heavily on your body and spirit, you're beginning to feel those cracks, those quiet weaknesses that weren't as visible in your youth. But hear me clearly. I am not repelled by your weakness. I am drawn to it. Yes, drawn to it. You see, the world teaches you to hide your flaws, to mask your frailty, to be embarrassed by your limitations. But I am not the world. I am your God. I am your creator, and I designed every fiber of your being. I knew every struggle you would face before you breathed your first breath. I am not surprised by your weariness. I am not disappointed by your tears. I am not ashamed of the places where you feel broken. I love you there, especially there. Your weakness is not the disqualifier you think it is. It is the very opening through which my love pours in. You've believed the lie for too long, that to be loved by me, you had to be strong, steady, and unwavering. But what if I told you the truth? What if I told you that my love flows most freely into the cracks, into the quiet spaces where you've run out of strength, where your voice trembles, where your hands shake, where your heart wonders if you've been forgotten? That is where I come closest. I am not like those who have walked away from you in times of need. I am not like those who stopped calling when you could no longer give what they wanted. I don't require performance. I require surrender. I don't demand perfection. I draw near to the humble, to the honest, to the hearts that whisper. I can't do this on my own. Because it is in that very confession that my glory begins to rise. Let me remind you of something eternal. My grace is not only for the strong, it is especially for the fragile. You have reached a stage in life where many things feel out of your control. Your body doesn't respond the way it once did. Your memory plays tricks on you. Your energy comes in shorter waves. And sometimes, deep inside, you wonder if you've become invisible in a world obsessed with youth. But to me, you are never invisible. I see you more clearly now than ever. I see your courage, even in quiet things like getting out of bed on days that feel heavy. I see your endurance when you choose to believe in me despite unanswered prayers. I see your wisdom, earned not in classrooms, but in hospitals, cemeteries, lonely nights, and long-forgotten kindnesses. And I want you to know, I cherish you. I cherish every wrinkle that was carved by years of loving, grieving, giving, and surviving. There is no expiration date on my love. I am not finished with you because you've slowed down. In fact, I may just be beginning something new, something deeper, quieter, richer. This is a season for deep knowing. It is no longer about running the race with haste. It's about walking with me hand in hand, every step soaked in intimacy. And your weakness is the doorway to that sacred walk. When you finally lay down your need to be enough on your own, you will find that I have always been enough for both of us. So let me in. Let me into the rooms of your heart where old pain still echoes. Let me sit with you in the places where bitterness tried to take root. Let me hold you where loss still stings and regret lingers. I am not afraid of your story. I was there in every chapter, and I have never stopped loving you. My love does not shrink when you are at your lowest. It expands. When others see limitation, I see opportunity. When others look away from weakness, I lean in. I get close. I sit beside you and wrap you in presence. My spirit does not hover from a distance. It inhabits your very breath. And if you could see how I look at you now, even in your frailty, you would weep from the overwhelming beauty of it. You are not forgotten. You are not discarded. You are not a burden. You are mine. When you feel most empty, that is when my love wants to fill you. When you feel most unworthy, that is when my affection is most relentless. And when you feel most unlovable, that is when I will prove just how deeply I have always loved you. Let go, dear one. Let go of the belief that your strength is what holds us together. It is my strength that sustains you. My power is made perfect not in your accomplishments, but in your weakness. So rest. Rest in my love. Rest in my promise that you do not have to carry what you can no longer bear. Rest in the knowing that I am here, not disappointed by your fragility, but tenderly holding it. I am not measuring your worth by your ability. I am measuring it by your surrender, by your trust, by the turning of your heart toward mine. In your weakness, I will be your strength. In your silence, I will be your voice. In your waiting, I will be your hope. And in all of it, I will be your God. My beloved, you have lived long enough to look back and see moments you never expected, some filled with joy, others shadowed by loss. There have been chapters of laughter and belonging, but also seasons of disappointment, grief, and unanswered prayers. You've asked me questions in silence, questions too heavy to voice out loud. Why did it have to happen this way? What was the purpose of that pain? Did any of it matter? And while I know your heart longs for answers, I must tell you, not every answer is meant for now. But every moment, every one, has a place in the greater story I am weaving. You are not wandering in a meaningless path. You are being woven into a tapestry so intricate, so glorious, that it cannot yet be understood from where you stand. You see the threads from underneath. Loose ends, knots, tangles. It looks chaotic. But I see the other side. I see the beauty forming thread by thread, and I have never lost sight of the final design. The tapestry is not just your life. It is our story, you and I, woven together from the beginning. From your very first breath, I have been at work. When you were a child and felt unseen, I was there, threading resilience into your spirit. When you endured heartbreak and betrayal, I was stitching deeper compassion into your soul. When you sat in hospital rooms, funerals, and seasons of loneliness, I was not absent. I was sewing threads of strength, of wisdom, of unshakable hope that could only be formed through fire. I know there are parts of your life that don't make sense to you. There are pieces you would rather forget. Mistakes, failures, losses too painful to name. But even these are not wasted. I am the master weaver. I do not discard threads simply because they are dark. I use them. I shape them. I arrange them to give depth and richness to the overall design. Without contrast, there is no beauty. Without shadows, the light cannot shine in fullness. Even the delays and detours you thought ruined everything, yes, even those, I have woven them into something sacred. There is no strand too frayed for my hands. No part of your story is too broken for me to redeem. You may have thought certain years of your life were lost, but I tell you nothing is lost in me. I collect every tear, every prayer, every act of faith you've sown in quiet obedience. They are threads in my hands. And though the full picture is hidden from you now, one day you will see it with new eyes. You will see how I took even the ashes of your sorrow and wove them into garments of praise. You will see how nothing, not even death, not even failure, was outside my redemptive hand. My child, you've asked me at times, why didn't you stop the pain? And I say this with the gentlest truth. Had I stopped every pain, you would not have come to know me as deeply. You would not have discovered that I am not only the God who blesses, but the God who walks with you through the storm. I don't only heal, I hold. I don't only provide, I preserve. I don't only command the winds, I sit beside you when they rage. You've also asked, was there a reason for what I lost? And though I know that ache cannot be simply answered, know this. I do not waste what you've surrendered to me. What you gave up, what you let go of, what slipped from your grasp. I am still weaving with those threads. There are blessings born only from surrender, and there is a kind of glory that rises from broken ground. You may feel like you're in the twilight of your life, that most of your story is behind you. But I say to you now, the beauty of the tapestry is not in how much of it is left, but in how it ends. And your ending is not decay. It is not fading. It is fulfillment. It is glory. It is a homecoming where the full picture is finally revealed. Do not measure your worth by what you can still do. Do not judge your story by the chapter you are in now. Trust the one who holds the thread. Trust me. I have not let go. Not once. Even when you felt alone, even when you thought I had forgotten you, I was there. I was weaving. I am still weaving. One day you will stand with me and look back not in confusion, but in awe. You will see how every moment was part of a divine design, how even your slowest days, your weakest prayers, your smallest acts of love became radiant threads in the eternal tapestry. And you will say, it was all for something. It was all for glory. It was all for love. So take heart, my beloved. You are not forgotten in this season. You are not stuck in meaningless waiting. You are being woven even now into something that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has imagined. Trust the mystery. Embrace the process. Rest in my hands. Let me keep weaving. My dearest child, you have waited for answers, for peace, for healing that seemed long delayed. You have stood in the space between faith and fatigue, wondering when the promise would come, when the pain would lift, when the season of aching would finally give way to relief. And in those long, quiet stretches of time, you may have felt I was far, or silent, or slow to move. But I tell you now with tenderness beyond your comprehension, my healing is never rushed, and it is never late. It arrives in sacred time. You must understand this truth. My time is not your time. I do not measure healing by clocks or calendars. I measure it by eternity, by the unseen work happening within your spirit, by the grace I am cultivating in places no one else sees. I am not just restoring what was lost in your life. I am preparing you to receive something greater than you have ever known. And that preparation takes time, divine time. There is no shame in waiting. I know how hard it has been. I know you've asked how much longer you must carry this pain, how much longer you must pray without seeing. But waiting is not wasted time when you wait with me. It is not punishment. It is a sacred pause. It is a holy interval where I am doing my deepest work, where roots go down into truth, and the soul learns to rest not in outcomes, but in my presence. You see the delay. I see the design. Some wounds are not healed instantly because I am healing more than just the surface. I am reaching into memories, into beliefs, into identity. I am not patching you up. I am rebuilding you, restoring you from the inside out. This kind of healing is gentle. It is slow by the world's standards, but swift by eternity's measure. You have asked for quick relief, but I have offered lasting restoration, and I will not rush the sacred. Think of how the seasons change. The trees do not force their leaves to grow. The flowers do not command the sun to rise faster. They submit to the rhythm I have written into creation. They trust the process, and so must you. Healing is a season, not a moment. It comes as you lean into me, not away from me. It comes not by striving, but by surrender. I know you've questioned whether your heart can be whole again. I know you've wondered if some losses are too deep, some regrets too great, some wounds too old. But let me assure you, nothing is beyond my touch. No time has passed that I cannot redeem. No scar is too settled for me to soften with grace. Even now, as you read these words, healing has begun again. It may not feel like a miracle. It may not come with fanfare. But my spirit is moving through you, gently gathering the fragments of your heart, whispering truth into the places where lies once lived. I am untangling the past, soothing the present, and preparing a future that is full of peace. And when the healing feels slow, when the days feel long, remember this. I am not only healing your body or your emotions. I am healing your vision, your ability to see me rightly, your ability to see yourself as I see you, whole, holy, loved beyond measure. You are not a burden to me. Your needs do not exhaust me. Your delays do not frustrate me. I am a patient God. I will sit with you as long as it takes. I will hold you through every wave of sorrow, through every step of recovery, through every tear and tremble. You do not have to perform your way to healing. You only have to abide in me. Rest in my rhythm. There will be a time when the fog lifts, when the grief softens, when the laughter returns to your lips. It will not be forced. It will rise gently, like the dawn after a long night. And you will know that it was not your strength that carried you here. It was mine. You will say, "He was with me the whole way. He never left me. He healed me in his time." And then, my child, you will become a vessel of healing for others. You will speak not as one who quotes verses, but as one who knows me. You will carry wisdom that only comes from the fire. You will offer peace that only comes from having endured the storm. You will be a lighthouse for others wandering in their own waiting. You will tell them, "Don't give up. Don't walk away. He is still working." Because you will know the truth deep in your bones. I heal. I restore. I redeem. Always. So let today be the day you stop demanding answers and start resting in my arms. Let it be the day you say, "I trust your time, Lord, even if I don't understand it." Let this be the day you breathe, deeply, freely, and believe again that your healing will come, not by might, not by willpower, but by my Spirit, in sacred time, in perfect time. And I promise you this, beloved, when your healing is complete, you will be more than restored. You will be radiant.